Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and it's Brick Call O'Clock mit einem Paket aus Deutschland. Right, so apologies to any German speakers for that attempt at your language, but thought I'd give it a go. And the reason why I've gone to Germany for this haul is because the French haul was very successful in bringing loads of interesting and new parts to Brick Nottingham. I thought I'd do the same with Germany. Now, yep, one thing you do have to check when you're buying from another country really is the postage rates. Now, within the EU, we have quite good favourable postage rates and no import duties to pay. So it's not so bad, but you do still have to check because sometimes you can spend hours filling a basket full of good stuff and then they go and whap on a sort of €20 postage charge on the end and you think, oh, that's doubled the price of the order. So do look at those first on the terms of the individual Bricklink stores and then you won't be caught out. Right, so here's a great big pile of stuff. Right, very bright and colourful order. Now I'm going to see if I can find, yep, this was the main extravagance of the order because this was all about €67, I think it was, which is quite a lot because I've bought quite a lot of sort of funky pieces really. But a third of that, a full third, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, was taken up by one minifigure, which I don't usually spend anywhere near that amount on a single minifigure, but I kind of looked at him and they were very rare and it's pretty much the only one available on Bricklink and I thought, and I just kind of talked myself into buying it. So I did. And this is he. Isn't he wonderful? He is, let me just get the arms up, the Lobster, Atlantis Lobster from the City of Atlantis set, 7985. And look at that. He's got such a cute little face with teeth. 4 eyes on this sort of carapace piece. Goes around the back. He's got these sort of weird horn things in his back. These sort of tentacly jobs, all in orange. And then these wonderful claws. And it's all on a normal minifigure torso. So the actual torso has got the print of the mouth on. There we go. That's fabulous in itself. So he kind of wears the head. And it makes him. And I just thought that was an amazing little figure. Now, you might think, well, where's he going in Brick Nottingham? And I kind of agree. So I convinced myself when I was in this store that this would look fantastic defending some sort of ancient monument or something like the City of Atlantis set underwater, in my underwater scene underneath the harbour of Brick Nottingham in due course. So, yeah, that's what I've told myself. I'm not sure I regret the purchase, but it was quite a lot. It's not something I'll be repeating that often. But, yeah, that is a fantastic minifigure, isn't it? There's loads of good minifigures in that Atlantis range, actually. I've got a few, well, I say a few. I think I've got 2, maybe 3 of them. There's also a Barracuda that's part of this set that looks very fun as well. So maybe check that out if you're interested. But anyway, that, let's move all this to one side, is a massive extravagance, but can be proudly shown when I get to that area. Right, so here's some other undersea stuff. I seem to be going a bit mad for this. I just don't intend to be starting building this for quite a while. Oh, that's something else. What's that? Oh, it says, sorry, one missing. And there's 50 cents. €0.50. Thanks for that. Very honest. I don't think I'd have minded. I'll have to put that with my travel money as I can't spend that in the UK very easily. Yeah, I seem to be buying quite a lot of undersea stuff for an area that I'm not going to be able to develop for quite a while because I'm going to have to buy loads of rocks and loads of base plates and stuff for a start. So anyway, I'm buying all this stuff when I see it. So I've bought these on a few orders now to make kind of very angular sort of looking big seaweed pieces or sea kelp or something like that, because I think in a huge setup I'm going to need a heck of a lot of stuff and big pieces will make it a lot easier to fill. So I've said this a few times, got these from a Hero Factory set, Kuroda 7156. And they usually come in 6s because there's 6 in that set, but this guy had 8 it seems, or rather did have 9, but I've been sent 8, so they're good to have. Other undersea stuff, it's quite easy to find really and just buy in bulk because you need so much of it. So I've got these ones, which are kind of like the normal sort of flamey fire pieces, but with these 2 different shades of green. Kind of got the solid green in the middle and the trans green around the outside. I mean, they look great, don't they? You can imagine him sort of peeking through some of this seaweed or kelp or something, looking very angry at the human intruders. He's quite small, isn't he? So he's going to have to go somewhere quite prominent. So, you know, he's noticeable, because if he just blends into the background, that will not be money well spent. Now, here's another one for under the sea. Now, these are usually either on street cleaners, where they sort of use that way and sort of to clean a street on one of those sort of buggies they have, or they use like this to make a kind of car wash. But get them in bulk, and they kind of look like plants under the sea. We can either have them sort of on their own, just all spread out. I mean, imagine that was a sea bottom there. Already looks pretty good, doesn't it? But you could also stack them maybe, or even stack a load of them on a Technic Axel and make it sort of really tall. I don't know. But this bright blue that they're in as well, I think it's a really vivid colour. And, you know, you can just imagine how beautiful this undersea scene could look with all these wonderful colours. So he had a load of these. How many have we got? 3, 6, 9, 12 of those. And then 2 more in a slightly different colour, which is more of a mid-blue. It's kind of a unique colour, really. I don't know. Yeah, it's sort of more medium bluey, whereas these are sort of almost trans light blue. Yeah, so they're really good. Get rid of the bags. Let's see, is there anything else under sea? Here's something under sea. So I want a variety of fish. So the fact that this is an old style one with the old style sort of pinhole eyes rather than the more sort of printed ones isn't so much a problem. But he's a sawfish with the sort of lateral, corrugated sort of nose implement. I don't know how to describe that. But this, you might be able to tell, is in old grey as opposed to light bluish grey. So that's light bluish grey and that's old grey. Just a slight difference. But it just adds to the variety. Just have another slightly different shaped fish, because the fins are all slightly different to the modern ones, I think. And a slightly different colour just makes it a lot more interesting, because you would have a lot of different beasties down there. And this one was from loads of different divers sets. From I think the 90s, but set 6559, Deep Sea Bounty, is one of them. That's a really fun set. What else have we got for under the sea? Oh, look, way more of those. Clearly forgot how many I ordered. So is that a third colour? Oh, it is. So we've got the light ones, the medium ones, and the dark ones. Now they are proper blue. So we'll have lots of variety in our undersea, and I've got a shed load of these. So what's that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and another 6. So 14 of those. Sorry, Lobster dude. There we go. So, you know, I can totally surround him in a huge coral forest. So that's excellent. Right, I think that might be all the sea. So let's just start with another minifigure. Ah, yes. Now this guy, thankfully, was a lot cheaper. He is a Hunchback. And he's quite an old figure. You can see he's got a old dark grey torso. Don't know if you can make that out, but it's kind of a muddy grey. So that's the old dark grey. And he's got a very sort of goofy expression on, like he's a bit, challenged, let's say. Got to keep it mildly politically correct. But he isn't really challenged at all, because he's just an actor, because he's part of some of the studio sets. And this one is part of set 1381, which is Vampire's Crypt. And although that is about a vampire's crypt, clearly, it is actually something that's being filmed for a film studio. So this probably actually is just an actor who's probably a thespian and speaks with the Queen's English normally and stands straight and all the rest of it. So actually, I do like that set. There's another piece I want from that, which is loads of garlic cloves on a tile. So when the goodie in that set is waving garlic at the vampire, he's actually doing it by way of a 2x2 tile, which I sort of find quite funny, because it's just so sort of old-fashioned nowadays. You'd have a more modern 3D part, wouldn't you? But in the olden days, they used to have 3D parts sort of printed on a 2D piece and just wave the 2D piece at somebody. Anyway, so yeah, I like him, Hunchback. So I might put him near the castle, collecting dung, just like in the what's it called, Monty Python and the Holy Grail type film or something like that. Yeah, so he's rather good fun. And he's even got his sort of pannier basket on his back for collecting dung with. So there we go. Here's another old piece. This is a dog. And amongst all the things I collect, like parrots and surfboards and skateboards and dogs, this is a dog that I don't have. It's a very old dog piece, which is why it's sort of quite angular in a way. Still got the one stud on the back. And it's quite fun if you look in the Lego catalogue on Bricks and Pieces and search some of the dogs. They've got quite amusing names, some of them, like Dog with Knob, which I always think is quite amusing. Tickles my sense of humour. Obviously, the knob in question is the one on its back, not anything else. So anyway, this was in quite a few sets, but one of them was the Harry Potter Night Bus 4755. But yeah, dark bluish grey, angular dog. So I don't know what breed that represents. Maybe a wolfhound or something like that. It's quite big, so it could be a wolfhound. And then in no particular order, I've got a wedge brick in this dark blue, which I'm thinking of using on a shop awning. And that might be part of my brand new modular, but it's just I just bought one so I could sort of see how it looked in real life. So that's not necessarily going anywhere. More of these wonderful slope pieces in trans black or trans brown, depending on your preferred name for it. So there's these, and I'm going to be using them, as I've said before, as skylights in pairs like that. And I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 of them. So I think I've probably got enough now, so I can probably stop buying those, put the brakes on that. But I think that's going to look great. That's part of my really big build coming up relatively soon. Well, I'm getting all the parts for it. So the reason why I can't start this build is because incoming are the parts. So when I've got them, I'll start building it. One panel in dark blue. I'm just going to use that at the bottom of some subway steps that are going to go down, just so it kind of looks like a shadow. It's kind of more representative of a shadow than black, actually, because black looks like a solid wall, whereas dark blue kind of looks like, does that go somewhere? And so I really like that. And they're a bit cheaper as well, to be honest. That is an empty bag. I probably just threw it the wrong way. There we go. Let's put them all the right way. Here is a train cab. Now, these are the ones that are used on trains like the Beast, which is what, 60098. And I'm potentially going to use them for something else. So I won't spoil that, but there's a nice new red cab piece. Lots of red hinge bricks, or plates rather, and of a different shape as well. These are still pieces that I'm collecting for my huge undersea creatures, because it won't just be little sea creatures like this that are under the water. I'm building the old Aqua Raiders, huge, great big under the sea creatures. So I've got a squid, massive giant squid coming, a massive giant crab coming, and a massive giant lobster coming. And maybe they're all under the control of the king of the undersea, who knows. So these red ones are for the lobster, I believe. Even more lobster pieces. Yep, so these are all bits of lobster leg, I think. And then I think I've already got this, because this was a piece from my caboose, actually. But I think I mistakenly ordered one from 2 different vendors, because they're quite hard to get, strangely. Lots of trans neon yellow, or neon green, depending on your point of view. This is for my Halloween build. I'm getting lots of sort of glowy in the dark pieces. So I've got the tiny 1x1 cheese wedge pieces as well in the same colour. I'll be using all these. Here's some 2x2 slopes as well. There we go. And I've even got a 1x2 plate. Not many people have not much of this. So whenever I'm finding it, I'm buying all I can because I'm going to need, well, not a huge amount, but a fair amount. And the best thing about all of these neon pieces is they are actually neon, in that they do glow under a UV light. So you can probably see that. See? So that's going to make it even more spooky, depending on the intensity of the light, is the intensity of the glow. I mean, look at that. It looks rather amazing, doesn't it? So there we go. That's why I'm buying those. And the same goes for all of the hidden side ghost parts, you know, like the heads of those ghosts and so on. So yeah, it's worth knowing, and I think a rather good feature. So here we go. Here's a map. 2x2 tile. Now this is of the undersea look, with an X marks the spot. Is it that way up? With a wreck and so on, and a whale. So that's good. I can give that to one of my divers. Probably not one that's in the water, because the map would get very soggy, but definitely one in a submarine or something like that. Might be a little feature to add. Oh look, more lobster parts. So these are the tasty lobster legs, apart from the green one, obviously, which is just a bit of seaweed. Wonderful piece, those dinosaur tails. I needed a few more double length Technic pins, so they've got their own bag. Very good. It's nice to have a nicely wrapped order, so I shouldn't be snobby about it. And then I've got loads of friends' glasses and sunglasses pieces. Now, the reason why I'm collecting these, I will show you. So, what have we got? I've got pretty much two of each. So I've got two of the trans purple ones, two of the trans pink ones. Then I've got some kind of retro solid pink, and in, what's that, aqua, and in solid purple, and in, I'm going to say medium azure. So there's loads and loads of different colours of glasses. And what I'm going to do is make little constructs like this, which is a little sunglasses rack. And you can put a friend's mirror piece on there with a little mirrored sticker as well to act as the mirror. So a minifigure can basically pick out some sunglasses and, sport them on the beach. So I might make a multiple tiered one. Now I've got quite a lot, but I only did this before because I had 4. So it's quite a simple build. It's just one of those modified bricks with studs on all sides, and then one of these new pieces, which I have no idea what the name of that is, which kind of holds the tiny pin, because they've all got a tiny pin on the back. If you can see that. There we go. So that's very fun. So I'm glad to have loads of those. And you can stick them, of course, if a minifigure does have that small hole in the top of their hair, you can stick the glasses on there like they're wearing sunglasses on their head. Now this was another barnacle piece, and I bought this because I was just kind of curious, and it was incredibly cheap. It's kind of like arms on a beast called Korak Cal, set 8575. And I just thought that'd be really good for like a machine or some sort of factory setting or something like that, because they look like they've got loads of cogs sort of whirring on the outside of a machine. So I don't know if I can use those really, but I think they're about 5p each. So I mean, why not have them just so you can play around with them? So definitely good addition there. Small pieces. I've got some purple hair. Now that came from a character called Pola, who is in the Nexo Knights, and that comes with a set Twinfector 72002. And I bought it because I don't have that purple hair. It's kind of like Joker hair, but a bit more wavy maybe. And then this is for kind of a sponge or something under the sea as well, because that's another neon piece actually. It's medium blue, but trans medium blue does actually glow as well. So you can see that's glowing. If I move the light away or the light towards, it does actually reflect and glow. So that's another colour, trans medium blue, that's very useful under UV. Now, I probably won't have permanent UV lights for my undersea setting, or at least not leave them on too long, because otherwise it might damage the plastic. I don't know. Right, so here's a little Totem of Heads. Oh, in fact, before I start my Totem of Heads, I've just seen one more, so let's grab that one as well. Okay, so here's our Totem of Heads. So at the top, I think we might have bought that before, that sort of stunned face and sort of stern face. That is from an Alien Defense Unit goodie. from the Alien Conquest line, such as in set 7049, Alien Striker. And believe it or not, that's not the smallest Alien Conquest saucer that's in the range. It looks very small, but there's some really, really diddy ones. And then there's this guy with kind of a snaggletooth and a stern look and a smile snaggletooth there. I really like that. There's a lot of very common heads that I just don't have because I haven't bought certain lines. So this is another one from Nexo Knights, a character called Axel, such as in set 70365, Battlesuit Axel. And, well, it's just a great fun head, really, isn't it? And another range that I don't have many heads from is Ninjago. And this head here is from Kai, who is the red ninja. I think they're always wearing the same colours. I don't even know that, to be honest. Such as in set 70627, Dragon's Forge. And he's kind of got some glowy eyes there, which will be great for a scene where that's relevant. Or just a normal sort of wry grin with a scar face as well. But I think, that could be very useful. I always think that heads are arguably the most important thing because getting the faces and the expressions right for a scene to make it really, really funny and just stand out is just so important, which is why I buy all sort of unusual or interesting expressions wherever I see them. Then we've got kind of a nervous smile there, only one-sided female face, and that's from the Shark Army General from the Lego Ninjago movie. So I just like that as well. I don't need that character, but that is a sort of oops sort of look, isn't it? And then my first foray into Chima, which is yet another range which I have absolutely no exposure to. So this is clearly a kind of leopard type figure, or maybe a cheetah, I don't know. Don't want to go through that thing again, but nonetheless, this character is called Lundor from set 70141, Vardy's Ice Vulture Glider. Yeah, exactly. So he looks quite fun on that side, and then he's got sort of gritted teeth on the other. And I was sort of toying with the idea of making a minifigure a part of that billboard that's got the leopard/cheetah on it, and advertising a product or something. So anyway, I bought that. So there we go. So some good heads. More Friends Pink Flowers. Getting quite a few of these now, so when I use them, I should be able to have quite a pink patch. These rounded plates are for part of my subway train, my second subway train. Yep. And I think, yes, that's for my big mystery build. Red plates, I think that's for my second bus. Good guess anyway. I've got a laptop. And this is a stickered piece, I believe, yep. And it's got a rather fabulous sticker on, which is why I bought it. Can you see that? So it needs straightening using my patented hot tea technique. But it has got a picture of the alien android from the Alien Conquest line. Probably my favourite non-city line, I think. And it's quite clear it's him. So he's the one actually outside my space tower, potentially going to get squished by the lift, being analysed on a computer screen. So I should be able to give this to a goody space person or ADU guy to use to sort of identify his weaknesses or whatever maybe. I don't know. But that is from the set 7066, Earth Defence HQ. And I've had quite a few bits from that set, actually. There was that scanning screen and, well, the alien android himself, who's really more of a cyborg than an android, but nonetheless. So I really like that. That's fantastic. Then I've got two of these. So these are normally roof pieces for like a car or something like that. But I'm going to use them as the doors to my undersea base, because I figure that looks kind of like the big sort of heavy door that you would close sort of as part of an airlock. Indeed, no, they aren't on the space station, are they? But that's the sort of thing you'd find on an undersea thing, I think, or kind of a space station. So I think they're really good. I've got two 1x1x3 bricks in black, which I think are for my subway train as well. Oh, here's a great big piece. Now this is rather an odd-shaped piece. I bought it kind of out of curiosity. It's got hinges on here, so it can sort of lift up like that. The set that I was kind of looking at potentially replicating was where this is the top of a large hot air balloon. So that set was called Aero Nomad 7415 and was part of the Adventurers line, Orient. And it's whether I need another Explorer's balloon really, but this is the top part. It was very cheap and I thought, I'll buy it out of curiosity. It's clearly used, but I can probably clean that up no problem. So yeah, interesting. Always good to experiment. Oh, now you've probably seen these before, but they are wonderful bricks with a lion head on that you can use as sort of an architectural feature on an older building. And I want to build some older buildings in Brick Nottingham. So I think that these will be an absolutely wonderful addition to the stonework, sort of ornate stonework of my city. I've already got these in tan, so that's good. But having some in light bluish grey means I can use them on two buildings. As long as those buildings aren't sort of next door to each other, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So very happy to have those. And they're quite hard to get. I guess they're very popular, actually. Wouldn't be surprised. And here's some hair pieces. Now, when I saw this, I thought, oh, I don't think I've seen that before. It's a very common sort of hair piece. It's kind of a longish bob, or I don't know how you describe that. Well, short female hair, let's say, or even longish male hair. But it's in dark red. And I thought, I haven't seen that before, I don't think. So I sort of looked up on the Bricklink catalogue, and it's actually only ever been in one set. So I had spotted something that was quite unusual that I definitely didn't have before. So that set was 4792, Alpha Team Navigator and ROV. And it was just the operator of the Navigator. ROV, that's remotely operated vehicle, isn't it? So I'll have a few of those in mind to see as well. But the hair I'll probably have on land because I don't want it hidden in the cockpit of some submarine or something. Sometimes all the details I do are a little bit wasted because they're hidden either deep inside a building or in a car or something like that. Anyway, must press on. So here's an interesting 4x4 modified plate. It's got a wonderful picture of an old prospector with a nugget of gold. And that's, oh, it's a little bit damaged, isn't it? Is that something under the sticker? Probably will be able to repair that using my patented hot tea technique. But doesn't look too bad. So that is from actually a Scooby-Doo set, 75904, Mystery Mansion. That's the one with the sort of castle with an epic greenhouse out the front. If ever I do a greenhouse, I think I'll copy that style because I doubt I could do better. But I'm just going to use this as a picture in someone's home or maybe in an art gallery or something like that, or even a museum potentially. It's a bit odd, but pretty funny. I really like it, actually. Then we've got a few more tiles here. So this one has kind of got upside down. Sort of contour lines and different numbers down the sides. So I could use that undersea, couldn't I, for sort of exploration or something like that. That's from set 8959. Claw Digger, which is a power miner set. A very vicious looking power miner set, if you ask me. It was only in that set. But yeah, it's a fun one. Pretty cheap, so fine. Another tile. There's another map, but it looks like the Great Wall of China with some sort of temple near it. And X marks the spot. So this is another tile from the Adventures Orient line. This one's from 7419, Dragon Fortress. I used some similar maps in my Fast Food Corner Adventure shop. I don't think I've got this one. So actually, I think I'm collecting maps now. Oh, God help me. I'm collecting too many things just with no real need for them, but nonetheless. And then here, a wonderful 2x2 tile, which I plan to make into another arcade game. If I make all these arcade games I'm planning, my arcade will be about 5 times the size it currently is. But you can see this one's a sort of ship going into the crosshairs of something. So that'll easily be a really good Space Invader. So I like that a lot. That one is from set 7690, MB01, Eagle Command Base. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Which is a Mars mission set. And that's the one with those tubes that actually use kind of a vacuum pump, which you kind of pump and it pushes things up and down the tubes, which sort of hold aliens. I think it's kind of an alien base, and the aliens move from platform to platform by going down this thing that you kind of pump the thing to either suck them towards or blow them away from a central point. I'd love to get that set one day in a way. It just looks really interesting. I think Jang's done a review of it, so you can definitely check it out. So that was 7690. It's worth a look. I've got a few of these just for play features. They look like they'll need moving as well. I won't say it again, but you know the technique that it'll use. And last but not least, some bar pieces in trans colours. So I got the four trans light blue ones to be kind of water. And I wanted that so I could have bits of water, columns of water on a fountain. I haven't decided exactly how, but basically if you're going to have a sort of column of water shooting up or something, then you'll clearly need one of those. So that's what those are for. And then I've got one in trans neon orange, which should be another colour that glows. And the reason I got this was because, not in this haul, but I've got this huge shark who's very fun. He's very much like the current new one from the ocean exploration ship, except he's got different colouring. That one's got more sort of realistic great white colouring, but this one's got a very evil face. He was in a lot of sets. I got mine from getting an old Agent set, but I wanted sharks with laser beams attached to their backs. If you remember that line from Dr. Evil in the Austin Powers movies. So I thought if I did a little setup like this, which is sort of an adopted idea from that Agent set, but I wanted laser beams. So I want it to be in Dr. Inferno's colours, but also be glowy. So here's the shark with the laser beam attached to its back. But the best bit about that should again be the neon light, which it's sort of glowing. The camera's not doing it justice, to be honest. Let's see if I can make it glow a bit better. Can you see that? Sort of, yeah, it's better in real life, to be honest. And it's not quite as good as the yellow, but you can see the difference there of being dull and being a bit brighter. So it is actually glowing. So that is a fun, oh, there you go. That's glowing a bit better when it glows sort of up the length of it. That is a shark with a laser beam attached to its back. Hilarious fun. And that is the end of that haul. So a very, very good one there. So I better put this to one side because I didn't get this with this order. But the rather extravagant Lobster man has to win the day. He's absolutely fantastic. He arguably needs a crown or something, I think, because I think I'm going to have him as the sort of king of the undersea area. I love the Hunchback as well, actually. He's really fun. That expression will never get old. And I'll definitely have him collecting dung, I think. If you don't understand that reference, you really need to watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Yeah, lots of really good pieces, architectural pieces, tiles, all of these wonderful pieces for under the sea. More of those glass pieces and pieces for all sorts of different projects, including a massive undersea giant lobster. So I'm really happy. Awesome haul. So I tried to make the Lobster King wave, but it's not very good because of these huge claws getting in the way of his huge head. But nonetheless, I think that was a really good haul. So thank you very much for watching. As always, it is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome LEGO videos. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be back in the city, perhaps continuing the development of Diagon Alley into Brick Nottingham. So, see you then!